It's another beautiful, beautiful morning. Good morning to you out there, my beautiful listeners. My name remains Tosi Ann, and you're welcome to Talking Point. Today I have a wonderful guest in the house. He is a public affairs analyst, and he is none other than Dr. David Kaide. Good morning, Doctor. You're welcome,
good morning, and thanks for having me.
He is also a chartered administrator, and he's going to be helping us analyze matters this morning on Talking Point. If you're watching live on Facebook, please do well to click on the share button. And if you have friends and viewers out there that you would like to be part of today's discussion, you can just tell them to quickly go to Google Play Store and download our mobile app, Workplace Radio. That's the handle. Okay, quickly this morning, let's look at what we have on the headlines before we go straight to our discussion. We have Osun school owner, others arraigned for results forgery. Edo has no funds to host festival or Baseki. 20 generals may go as Buhari replaces Buratai service chiefs. Okay, we have Igboho. Gani Adams wants arsonist arrested. Police trial hoodlums. Headsmen have no alternative. Must register, says Ondo. Court orders Adamawa suspected witches to heal 3-year-old. Ex-PDP chair's widow, 13 travelers kidnapped in Kogi. Ex-Zamfara Governor Yari forfeits 28.284 million to FG. Amotekun probes herdsmen's destruction of 235 hectares Ekiti maize farm. FG denies claim of Nigerians' illegal detention in Bangladesh. Police probes armed Kebbi men arrested by Amotekun. NGF donates 50 million to Sokoto market fire victims. Abdul Razak signs 137.6 billion naira Kwara budget into law. 30,000 Almajiris reunited with parents in 2020, Kaduna. Igboho, FG won't tolerate acts capable of disrupting peace, says Aregbe Shola. Edo pays 12 million to families of 5 deceased workers. And federal government launches End Creativity program for 1,500 youths. EFCC arrests 21 Yahoo boys in Rivers, Oyo. Buhari directs ministry to design national action plan for out-of-school kids. New salary structure for police coming soon. Sunday Igboho, some Yorubas supported those who raised my house. These and many more headlines we have today, but I'll quickly take a few of them that we'll be discussing and we'll be reading. Let me quickly look at the first one. New salary structure for police coming soon. Inspector General of Police IGP Mohammed Adamu has said 18,360 community policing officers CPOS have been screened, vetted, recruited and trained. This was the acting chairman of the National Salaries and Wages Commission, EPO, Nta, said a new salary structure for police will soon come into force. Both men spoke at a workshop to sensitize members of the public on community policing, organized in conjunction with Unite Consult Limited and Co., Luke and Co. in Abuja. Nta, who was represented by Secretary to the Commission, David, said documentation on the improved salary structure for police had been completed and was awaiting submission to the president for approval. Now let's look at this case, Doctor Sir. What do you think? Do you think it's a welcome idea after the long agitation here and there that our security personnel are not being taken care of properly? What do you say to this? Is it a welcome, or it's too late, or what do you say to that?
Thank you very much. I think motivation of our security force will go a long way to help in the curbing of security situation in our country.
Okay.
Most often we see them misbehaving because they are highly demoralized, highly demotivated, and are very uninterested in what they are doing because their take-home pay couldn't take them home. And most of their families, most of them cannot go extra mile for the country because they can see that even if a man cannot feed his family, his pride is already gone. They are going to be like impotent man that sees a beautiful woman. He will feel like he will have the inner, he will wish, but he cannot really do.
He cannot do.
So the truth is this: most of our security people are in this situation because we have neglected them for too long. Their welfare is not taken care of, and some of them decided to. Most of them decided to vent the anger on the society by going into the corrupt world to begin to extort from people. And you can see the issue of NSAS is all about economic value. It's the economic gain they want to get from their, or using their office to get economic gain. It draws in impunity. That's why you see a policeman will tell you, I will deal with you and nothing will happen. You know, I will kill you and nothing will happen. If you don't give me this, I will deal with you and nothing will happen. Because over time, they have grown into a system where everybody now begin to seek for survival. But generally, workforce, if you bring people together and treat them well, if the system treats you well, you will be able to bring sanity into that system. But a system that does not care will not have the moral justification to bring sanity into its system. So the fact that they are announcing the increment in police salary for long is long overdue. I'm surprised that they are still talking about it. I was even telling a policeman I met on the road who was looking at me as if they want an inducement. I said, but we have been paying you. And that I'm one of those people that fought for your new wage. They said they have not paid them, that they are only hearing it on in the news, just like every other Nigerian, but they have not seen anything. I said, you don't mean it. So they have announced this for too long. I believe that it's high time they do something needful, but they are saying that they have completed the documentation. I don't know how the documentation should stay to this time and like staying for eternity. The documentation shouldn't be for eternity. They should have done the needful and pay these people, because even the society have had it. And there's this way that the society reacts to news. The market reacts to news. You can't believe it. Rumor has a way of engendering, of catapulting prices of goods. So, but I'm surprised that they haven't done this thing that has been announced since last year or so. So it's a cheering news that they said they have concluded the documentation. They must facilitate, they must expedite the the bureaucratic process and allow people to enjoy their salary. And with that, the society will have the moral, the government, the system will have the moral strength to put the moral burden on the security people, most especially the policeman, because if you want to kill corruption in this country, you start from the police.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's my pleasure.
So we're going to the next topic, next news item immediately. It says 20 generals may go as Buhari replaces Buratai service chiefs. No fewer than 20 members of course 34 and 35 may proceed on retirement as the president on Tuesday removed service chiefs and appointed a new set of service officers to replace them. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, in a statement titled President Buhari appoints new service chiefs, named officers who will head the nation's armed forces. According to him, They include Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Lucky Rabo, Chief of Army Staff, Major General Atairu, Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral A.Z. Gambo, and Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Isiaka Amo. Now, sir, it's been long that people had lost their confidence in the service chief, in the security chiefs, and coming at this time that the president, ordered them to become
of course.
And do you think that the people will come in, because we know that, at this time now, people are preparing for the next election. Do you think they have enough time to actually, carry out the change that people are clamoring for?
Yes, the clamor for the removal of service chiefs, owing to the fact that their performance has gone abysmal, their performance has gone down, is long overdue. Some of us have been clamoring that Mr. President should do the needful. When if you are a leader, the job of a leader is that of appraising. You delegate, and when you delegate authority that is given to you, you keep appraising and appraising. By the time you appraise and discover that there's some things that, if I point you to Obasi just said something, he said you can help somebody to get a job, but you cannot help him to do it, or him or her to do it. You get people to a job, and you as a leader, you stay somewhere and you have your expectation, and they are not meeting your expectation, the expectation of the people. What you do is to effect a change. Is to effect a change, and Mr. President find it difficult to do that simple task of leadership by effecting the change when it was necessary. Unfortunately, it drags for so long, and we lost a lot in that process, and a lot of Nigerian soldiers died. A lot of people, the security situation in the country is such a one that people are now running etasketa. In fact, at a point, people started finding a way of securing themselves. Because when the system does not secure you, you have to, survival instinct in you will make you to rely on yourself, on another strategy to secure yourself. And that has cost Nigerians a lot of human resources, a lot of physical resources, and we're in this mess. And Mr. President is just waking up to the fact that there's need for change. But I would say that doing good is never too late. When a Chinese proverb said that if you walk 1,000 miles and you discover that you make a mistake, you don't have to keep going. You have to retrace your step at that moment where you discover that you made a mistake. Our president has done it, and I hope he's going to extend it to his executive arm. Some of his ministers have been accused of incompetency. Some of his ministers have been accused of corrupt activities. Some of his ministers have been accused of ineptitudeness. And these are the things that he's supposed to do as an appraiser general, to appraise everybody that is or his appointees. And allowing because I will not even say he's sacking them. I would say he allowed them to go because they are overdue to have gone. It's a good thing, and I hope that they will be able to inject new architectural idea into our security fabrics and challenges, and we hope that will bring in some sanity. I was so disappointed when I heard that Alhaji Lai Mohammed said that Nigeria is far better than 2015 when they made the security situation, and every Nigerian knows that it's not true, because we know that it wasn't like this. There are some areas that people still travel to, people are still free, but it's like the whole thing is escalating. And I'm surprised that he, as a pressman, as a chief information officer, is still telling us and misinforming us of the obvious. He's misinforming us of the obvious. You cannot tell us that Nigeria is better when it has become a state of banditry here and there. Everywhere. You cannot even curb them. In those days, it used to be encircled in the Borno axis. But now it has gone to everywhere. It has escalated. The northerners are no longer safe in their society. The westerners are no longer safe in their community. The southerners are no longer safe in their community. And that is not what we desire. But when the president has taken this step, I hope it will go a long way to help. Something as a human resource expert, that now we have a culture of losing some of our generals to political decisions. The caption of your story said that people have been accused, that some people have been, they are going to lose their job because somebody behind has been appointed as that is how we lose some of our brilliant faces, the brilliant personnel, because of political aggrandizement or because of political interest. I think that we should have a system where generals will be able to subject themselves to a system where hierarchy will have a play, we have a lot to play in the scheme of appointments. Not going behind so as to respect the spirit of seniority in the system. It's a situation where when you appoint a captain, if you are comfortable with the captain, you appoint a captain, you are afraid that the generals will not be respectful of the captain. Why not go through the seniority process so as not to lose all our generals for nothing? A subject matter that I hope that the executive and the legislatures in Nigeria will look at.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Still on this issue now, it says former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, has asked for the probe of these service chiefs that were sacked.
Very well. Very well. They have to be probed. If you complete a service, you are supposed to render your account, and because a lot has actually gone into security, and we seem not to find the result. And the claim is that the money has been disappearing into private wallets, into private purse, and we cannot continue to have a Nigeria that will not ask for accountability and probity. And if Fayose is saying that, that's correct. That's even correct, the thing that government should do. When you are out of office, you subject yourself to scrutiny. You subject yourself to accountability test. And if you pass, congratulations. If you don't, the needful should be done. You should be subjected to the process of the law. But in case you do that, you are already telling the people behind, and that's the best way to fight corruption. To fight corruption, you tell the people behind and say that, look, when you get there, when you are also leaving, they will ask you questions. So our leaders should not be afraid of asking questions from the appointees. And I think the president should do the needful. The system should do the needful. This is the time that we expect the independent corrupt practices and the EFCC and other team, including the bureau of this bureau of public accountability, to ask questions and say that, how did you get this? How did you get that? They should begin to ask their questions so as to mop up any excesses that is unnecessarily taking advantage of defrauding Nigeria. And if they are probed and they come up straight, they can now have the boldness to say, oh, after soldier, after practicing as a military man, I want to go into politics. And we will now have a reason not to doubt them. But we have left a lot of people unprobed, a lot of people out of government, out of offices, unprobed. And they are going to use that money to now play politics on us and now keep ruling us and stealing the more. And that is why we are seeing this. Even Fayose himself should still be probed. He's undergoing probe. And he should not frustrate the judiciary process. Everybody should subject themselves. If you can serve me, you should be ready to be asked questions after your tenure. And I think it is expedient for government to do that.
Thank you very much. Our viewers will be taking a short break, and when we return, we will continue. Talking Points will continue. You're welcome back. If you're just joining, you are watching Talking Point. You're listening to us on the Workplace Radio. We are surrounding the workforce and Nigeria generally. Now we are moving on to other issues. Now, it has been said that the NIMSI licensed other telecommunication to provide to that, owing to the fact that, some time ago, the NIMSI their population, they went on a strike because they said they didn't have adequate things that they required, and they are short-staffed and all that. Those were part of the complaints that they laid then, and they came back. And now the deadline that they have given, they are also saying they can't even meet up. They've given them the deadline. The federal government gave them a deadline in February, and they are saying that they have given schedule people to come for registration sometime in March. So, sir, what do you see to this? Is it okay? Do you feel that it will be helpful in the sense that will these other ministry now that have been that have been brought in to assist them, will they do it the right way? Because we have a way of, when we do things, they will now say go back. Some people complained earlier that they went to they did it online, they say still go back. Some people say they went to the bank, they still say go back. You have not collected some stuff like that. Do you think it's a welcome development, or it's just going to be double effort? When you go to that place, you still have to go back to.
I think it is it's necessary for us to understand the process of registration.
Okay.
Registering is gathering data and generating the number. It's an automated generation process. And I expect Nigerian Identification Management Commission to have been proactive by now, to know that the number of people they register vis-a-vis the population of Nigeria is too meager. And we shouldn't have waited for so long and make people to do panic registration. I think it's a process that should flow for a long time.
It should be continuous.
It should be a continuum. It should be a continuous process. You don't do it as exercise. Nigerians are always doing their things as if they are doing exercise. Even Population Commission, they say they are doing population exercise. INEC registration, they want to do it by exercise, and the government will now vote so much money, and they will be saying they are doing exercise, and all of us will be struggling. I'm expecting billions is going down the drain in the Population Commission now. That they want people to begin to line up, and you begin to count Nigeria in this age. This is 2021. We will now be doing population census by counting people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead of us to have an automated, a scientific way of generating information about birth and death of citizens, and you will now be giving us, if possible, daily reports. After this exercise, you will see all of them will now go and sit down. INEC people are sleeping now. They will go to their office. They are going from one place to the other, writing petition, meeting each other, talking, socializing in the office, doing nothing, waiting for when registration exercise will go. And that applies to NIMSI, a situation where after the exercise has been done the other time, they have gadgets that time. What happened to those gadgets? What happened to it? Why have you closed? Did you have to close down offices? After the happened to it? We bought them with taxpayers' money. What happened to it? And now they are now saying that they cannot do it. And after generating a lot of pressure, after controversy, they are now thinking let us sublet it to other networks. So other networks to help us generate. They should have thought about that earlier, or use the personnel they have to make it a continuous thing. So by now, a lot of people must have been registered, their data generated, their fingerprints already known, captured. And then when you need to, the process should be, if after the so-called deadline now, they will now do anything again. All of them will now go on leave again, they will now wait here when issues will now arise, and they will now be rushing again. I think we should encourage our government agencies and establishment to grow beyond this and begin to render real service to Nigerians. Giving it to network of operators and is a good development, but we should always be proactive. We should not allow system to degenerate before we begin to think.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
So let's move on to the next. It is said that Kwara governor orders top of salary to past governors and deputy governors. What do you say to that?
The Kwara State government have come to the yearnings of people. People have been saying that because this so-called jumbo pension to public office holders is not a good thing. It's a self-serving policy passed by the representatives of people, and to make governors to feel good, and it's a way of continuously siphoning the fund of people, of the public fund, because you have been given privilege to hold offices. It's not something that we should celebrate. We should frown at it. And I want to commend Kwara government for being selfless. The governor is selfless because he's not thinking about himself. If he thought about himself, he would have said that if I leave office, I should be collecting this in government, and I want to commend him for that decision and for even making it a reality. And if you listen to what the speaker said, he said that is what people want. I think we should applaud the governor for that.
Well, I think that's also a nice one. Taking lead from the new president of America. I heard the story that he, at one point in time, after having served for a while, his son had cancer, and even as a public service holder, he could not afford.
He was looking for money to treat his son,
and
because
eventually he lost his son.
They don't take advantage of public fund like we have them in Nigeria, where somebody will carry out our money, travel abroad, and without working on our health system, they will go abroad and begin to treat themselves, because these monies are for them to spend. They will convert or begin to see public funds as an extension of their private purse. They are not seeing offices of leadership as a place to serve, and that is a very bad scenario in Africa, Nigeria in particular. And we should begin to see public office as a place to serve and not a way to siphon public funds.
Well, let's see if other states governors will take a lead.
We have to keep pressurizing them to do that.
All right, so let's move to this. Corporal dismissed for getting pregnant out of wedlock. This one is actually very touching one for me. You know, I'm a female, I'm feminine. I'm wondering, why is it always one-sided? Is it like, a man can't get pregnant, but a woman will definitely get pregnant. So I believe, I don't know. What do you say to that? And people are actually kicking against it. People stood up for
we should not be emotional about this. The lady has signed as a paramilitary officer to certain documents, which may entails when you are married, you should inform the system. We have married people getting pregnant and nothing happened to them. And if you make mistake, you should quickly do the needful by either working with your team or facilitating your marriage process to inform them if you have gone through the process, 10 years or whatever. When everybody that reads it, we that had the news felt bad for her, but the truth is this: government should be of laws rather than of men. We should be more interested in the rules of the game, since it's the rules she has signed to, and she cannot be protected by her people.
But there's a way. If it's on the other side, I'm talking about for the men now.
No. It's a woman. It's a woman that has the key to the door, and it's the door that incubates. That's where you have the babies. A man is just a donor. So you are the owner of the key. So if you give the key to a man, you should be ready to bear the consequence, because you are the one that is blamed. That's why in Sharia law you see women being blamed for Allah, except you claim that you were raped. So because you own the key, no matter the harassment, no matter the inducement, no matter the enticement, you own the key and you give it. So when you are giving the key, no, I mean you are the owner of the key. You have the key. You are the one that decides, except you can prove that you are raped. When in Sharia law, I say no, that is the truth. You are the one that decides, and the one that open herself up for the guy. And when she's doing that, you should be cautious. Don't forget that the musician said that before you fall for that man, think twice. So you should know the implication of what you are doing, and allow the use of condom, use of precautionary measure, because you have signed to a policy. We should be character driven. I'm not saying that she's not human. We are all human. We have done mistakes, one or the other. But could it be it has happened in some police post before, where the DPO covers up the officer, where the colleagues cover up themselves? I'm sure it has happened before, and they have good relationship and they do a kind of cover up. But maybe it's unfortunate that she finds herself under a leader that will not take shit, who is strong about the rules. Or could it be a rusty situation, a rusty relationship with a colleague or the officer? Who knows? The main rule has been broken. She was adequately reported, and the implication of the rule was applied to her. We should not bring this sentiment. That doesn't mean she will not no longer be human being. If she appeals, they will look at it by the rules of the game.
Thank you.
So don't bring in sentiment to the rules.
It's just that, we have to be a little bit sentimental whenever we.
You see, even in the civil service.
Whenever we think about this thing, let's assume now she got into service same time with a guy. The guy is free to get married anytime. No,
yes, because you are a police officer, a lady. There are rules applied to man. Mr. Folabi was telling us something. He said it's even to protect them. Before we came into the studio, you raised that issue. You were emotional about it. But Femi Afolabi said, look, it's even the law is to protect the lady. That there are some times when you as a lady, you are you got married, you can't be transferred anyhow. They cannot transfer you to anywhere just like that. Like your male counterpart can be transferred to Sambisa Forest. They can decide to transfer your male counterpart to the east. But you as a married woman, when they are considering transfer, they will not think about you. Even if they transfer you, you apply and say that you don't want to be transferred because you cannot be allowed. They should not make you to leave your. What about that advantage? Are you getting me? So that is the thing that we need to look at very well. That is the rule of the game. That's the rule of the game. So let the game play.
Thank you very much.
Unless all of us play by the rules. Even in government offices, when they have good relationship with themselves, they cover up. So you ask question, why is it that she wasn't covered up? Since the IG in Abuja, we don't see her. Is it advantageous to cover up a system, a rusty system? Could it be the cover up that we have been doing is what has degenerated and affected our system to have colossally degenerated to this point? Or so you keep asking such questions. I think there's nothing wrong about it.
Thank you very much.
You are becoming a woman activist.
Dear viewers, we are still on Facebook. You can share our video, like our video, share it. You can also drop your comments, you can drop your questions, and we'll attend to them. You're still on Talking Point on the Workplace Radio, and I still have my guest in the studio, Dr. D.K. Enyidero, a public affairs analyst and a chartered administrator. Thank you for coming on the program. We have just one more thing to discuss.
Thank you.
One more issue to discuss. NDLEA boss Buba Marwa proposes drug test for NYS students in the newly admitted students in the higher tertiary institutions, security agents, and government officials. This is a new one. What do you say to that? You think it will
you know, antecedent of Marwa is a performer anywhere. Give him any duty, you want to make good of that office, and I think it's apt, it's solid. Start from our political office holders, because if you see the way they act sometimes, you will know that they need psychological test, and some of them are into drugs, and that is why they behave irrational. And going down the reign to do for even students is how people that are not in their right senses to hold offices, and to senators, a lot of these House of Assembly members, a lot of these House of Rep members, a lot of these ministers are into drugs. They take drugs, and it doesn't help them to take right decision, and whatever decision they take, it affects us. A doctor can kill one person, but a politician can kill a whole city by wrong decision. A bad king can kill can sink a whole community by wrong decision. So we need to be in our right senses before decisions are made, and that is why we need people like that. During Dora Akuyeli, you can see how she fought. May her soul rest in peace. That's my best woman, a lady that performed well and changed a lot of things, even though it seems to be to a large extent we were able to fight. I was in Benin Republic one day. I wanted to buy drug, and I was checking it. Do you know that the pharmacist told me, he said, "Are you from Nigeria?" I said, "Yes." "Why?" "Because I see that you are checking drugs." He said, "This is Benin Republic." He said, "We don't have substandard drug here."
Wow.
So you don't have to check it. When we sell it, it's confirmed. I was ashamed. I said, "Look at these people. They don't even have," you know. But Dora Akuyele got to a point and brought us to that level now, even before, when you are buying drug, you can confirm the authenticity of the drug by just a text message. And you saw what she did to most of these drug lords, these drug racketeers, and you see how she was able to curb and bring us to a certain level of sanity, where we have reputable companies here and there, and so I think Marwa, when I heard about his appointment, I said this is a perfect appointment, because I know he's that kind of person that he believes in making good name for himself.
Like what we saw him
did
do
in Lagos,
Lagos
and anywhere. We still call the transportation thing, this we call it Marwa. You know, he's still there. He was a moving guy. That was why even when he wanted to be president, some of us said, "Oh, these are the kind of people that can help Nigeria." So I think it's a good thing that drug test should be done all through for anybody that is seeking that. Anywhere you have the NDLEA officers that will check your drug level and be able to know if you are in your sanity level in state or not, so that your decisions, most especially, I recommend it very seriously from the office of the president down to every office in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Do you have any fears? You know how things operate in Nigeria, that do you have fears that it will not work at the upper level, like for those politicians?
Yeah, I know.
Let's say, for instance, this COVID-19 test. Now, we've been hearing a lot. People that are traveling, like my uncle traveled out and came back to Nigeria with his wife. They had to pay 50,000 and they were told to go and quarantine themselves. They didn't provide a place. They didn't, I'm not even sure they did the test, but they
more interested in the funding.
Yes, so that's what I'm looking at. Are we sure that it will actually, take effect on the
we are in Nigeria. When it starts, we begin to ask questions. That's why this kind of program is important. That's why analysts are talking. We are writing to pass the messages of Nigeria. We are the conscience of the people. We try to aggrandize, we try to harness, to mop up the views of people and push it. We never stop talking, and we never stop talking. So let them start first.
Thank you so much, Dr. DK Indera.
Thanks for inviting me.
It's been wonderful talking to you today on Talking Points, and I'm sure that our viewers have really enjoyed topics that we've brought to them today. So you can still send us your own